What's going on, guys? TJ here with Daily Grind Fantasy Sports, and in this video I'm going to be going over the concept of correlating plays. The whole purpose of this video is going to be showing you guys how you should be positively correlating some of your slips on these DFS apps. If you guys stay until the end of this video, I hope that I've taught you a new strategy to implement on these DFS apps, or if you already knew that you could positively correlate, maybe I showed you something that you didn't already know before. So when we think about correlating and when it comes to sports betting, correlating basically just means different outcomes that are more likely to happen together. Now, when it comes to different sports books, so if you're a sports book's bettor, right? If you're not playing on these DFS apps and you try to positively correlate something specific, let's say in a football game or a baseball game, those sports books take into consideration what you're doing, trying to positively correlate. But when it comes to these DFS apps, you can get away with it. So when I say that these sports books take into consideration what you're doing, I'm saying that they're going to shift your payout if you are trying to positively correlate on a sports book. So let's go circa 2014 on you guys for a hot minute. If I'm taking the over of Tom Brady passing yards and the over of Rob Gronkowski receiving yards, those two plays are positively correlated because they're more likely to happen together. So if Brady goes out and throws for 400 yards, Rob Gronkowski, being his main target, is most likely to be the main beneficiary of Brady having all those passing yards.
Yo soy fiesta.
Sportsbooks take that into consideration and they'll reduce or payout shift those odds because you're positively correlating. But when it comes to these DFS apps, when you're going on and if you're taking the over Tom Brady passing yards and the over Rob Gronkowski receiving yards, or the under Tom Brady passing yards and the under Rob Gronkowski receiving yards, that payout shift doesn't exist. For instance, let's say I'm on PrizePicks and I'm trying to build out a slip. Now, if I want to positively correlate something, I need outcomes that are most likely to happen together, right? So let's say Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts over passing yards for the season currently is set to 3725.5. All right, so 3,725 yards. Now, if I think Jalen Hurts is going to go over 3,726 yards, that most likely means that one of his receivers, maybe Devonta Smith, maybe AJ Brown, would be more likely to go over their receiving yards. So in order to positively correlate this slip over on PrizePicks, I would want to take either the over on AJ Brown receiving yards or the over on Devonta Smith receiving yards. Because again, if Jalen Hurts is going to go out there and throw for 4,000 plus yards, his main wide receivers are going to be the main beneficiaries of him throwing that many yards. Now, when it comes to every sport, some of these apps do take into consideration when you are trying to correlate. For instance, golf. Golf is extremely tough to be able to correlate because there are payout shifts on apps like PrizePicks and Underdog. But for sports like NFL, basketball, eSports, soccer, so many more, you guys can be positively correlating your slips and giving yourself an even bigger advantage on cashing out. So let's go ahead and jump into a few more examples. But before we jump into that, guys, if you could, please go ahead, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and smash that like button as well. And if you guys haven't, go ahead and turn on that notification bell so whenever we post any type of content, you get notified first. So just again, to go ahead and further solidify this concept for you guys, I want to show you an all NFL season-long slip that we could create right now that would be 100% positively correlated, and our payout shift over on PrizePicks wouldn't change at all. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take Aaron Rodgers, we're going to take Patrick Mahomes, and we're going to take Josh Allen. And we're going to take the overs on all of their passing yards. Now we're going to think to ourselves, who would be the main beneficiary of each of these players throwing over their total passing yards for the season? So we're going to head over to receiving yards, and we're going to take Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, and Garrett Wilson all to go over their receiving yards. Now, we know over on PrizePicks, when you play a 6 flex slip, you get a 25 times return if you go 6 for 6. So if there's going to be any sort of payout shift over on PrizePicks, we're going to see it. We're not going to get that 25 times return in this slip if we positively correlate it. But watch this. So we're going to go ahead and take the over Travis Kelce, over Stephon Diggs, and over Garrett Wilson, right? Because if Rodgers is going to go out and throw for those 4,000 plus yards, Garrett Wilson, his main target, he's going to benefit. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. And we can see right here, if we go ahead and enter this positively correlated slip, and we put down $50, our payout will be $12.50, and that is our 25 times return. I'm going to enter it just to show you guys, and boom, that is a 100% positively correlated slip that we could enter over on PrizePicks and would make total sense. Yeah, just to show you guys, I did cancel that. I'm not keeping it. But that actually brings me to another sport that you guys can be positively correlating, and that is going to be esports, and specifically CSGO and League of Legends. So first and foremost, that entire League of Legends slip that you guys did just see on PrizePicks came directly from this software over at DGFantasy.com. This is called our DFS optimizer. Specifically, we're looking at the PrizePicks optimizer right now. The whole purpose of this tool is to show you guys the best plus EV plays on whatever DFS app you are betting on. We do this by comparing sportsbook lines directly back to a DFS app. As we can see, we have PrizePicks, Underdog, Parlay Play, Boom Fantasy, Fliff, Hot Streak, Jock Market, Sleeper, SportsBattle, Thrive Fantasy, and Vivid Picks. And this makes it so much easier to positively correlate on any one of those apps. So now let's jump back to the PrizePicks slip that I created. Again, this came directly from our software over at DG Fantasy, right off of the PrizePicks optimizer. Now guys, when it comes to League of Legends, yes, you can correlate in esports. When a team is doing really well in League of Legends and they're getting a lot of kills and they're collecting a lot of gold, it's somewhat of a snowball effect. So often we see one team, if they start to dominate, get all the kills, whereas the other team that is getting dominated don't get any kills. Now that might not always be the case, but more often than not, in that situation, when one team goes out, handles their business, gets a lot of kills at the beginning of the game, they continue to get those kills throughout the game, and those players get more kills, and the team on the other side, they get less kills. So it makes sense to play some of these players together. So right here, we have Avra and Heroic, both on Team GTZ, and what I did was took the over kills on each of those players. Now, I actually turned around here in this specific slip. As we can see, GTZ is playing EIQ. So I took the under of 2 players on EIQ. Now, that is a completely positive correlated slip. I have 2 overs on a team that I want to win, and I have 2 unders on the team that they're playing in hopes that they lose. And that outcome is way more likely to happen together. And then to finish off that slip, again, I had 2 more positively correlated plays. I have Essek and Brunnis, both on Team WLG, and I took both of them to go over their kills. So one thing to note when it comes to playing League of Legends over on PrizePicks, you can only have 2 players from a single team in a slip. So this would be a completely positive correlated slip with one whole game stack in there as well that is positively correlated. Now, to talk about negative correlation, things you guys should be avoiding. Negative correlation would be if I took Avra, who is on Team GTZ, to get over 7 kills for maps 1 and 2, and if I took Heroic under 7 kills for maps 1 and 2, because they're on the same team, that's not positively correlated. That would be negative correlated. So to go back to my Brady and Gronk example that I mentioned a couple minutes ago, if I were to be taking Tom Brady over passing yards in a game, and I were to be taking Rob Gronkowski under receiving yards in a game, that would be negative correlation. I also mentioned earlier that there are multiple sports that you can positively correlate on these DFS apps. So let's talk about basketball, because that was one that I did mention, and another sport that you guys can be taking advantage of and finding some really good correlation. So a prime example of this, tonight in the WNBA, we have the Liberty versus the Aces. If we're going to take Sabrina Ionescu and Chelsea Gray to go over their points, more often than not, they're getting assists from a specific player. So to positively correlate this, we wouldn't take Sabrina Ionescu over assists because we can't do that. We would want to be taking Kelsey Plum over assists and Courtney Vandersloot over assists. So that is 2 positively correlated outcomes to happen, more than likely outcomes to happen together in a slip over on PrizePicks. And we know that PrizePicks, if you enter a 4-man power, you get that 10 times return. And by having that positive correlation, it doesn't payout shift our slip at all. So these are just more examples of how you guys can implement this concept into your day-to-day betting. And I mean, hell, in this instance, if you guys wanted to take it a step further, if we're just going to get a ton of points, no missed shots, we could sneak in Brianna Stewart under rebounds and Asia Wilson under rebounds. That's a complete positively correlated game stack here. It's a little bit more risky, obviously, but again, the payout shift doesn't happen. We know 25 times on PrizePicks for a 6 flex slip, and we would have it right here if we wanted to. Completely positively correlated game stack between the Liberty and the Aces. We just entered with no payout shift. Yeah, guys, I canceled it. I don't know if it's a plus EV slip. It's just an example. So right now, having a software like the optimizer here at DGFantasy, or even the middling tool, anything, our fantasy bundle subscription that we offer, it's gonna make your life a whole lot easier trying to correlate some of these slips. And what if I told you that we had something coming out somewhat soon that's gonna make your life even easier when it comes to positively correlating slips on these DFS apps? All right, I can't say much more than that, but guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys took something from it when it comes to correlating on these DFS apps. Again, if you guys could please hit that like button, turn on that notification bell, and smash that subscribe button if you haven't for all of our future content. I'll catch you guys later, and let's cash. Hey guys, so if you made it this far in the video, first and foremost, thank you so much. But a quick disclaimer. So I made this video about a week ago prior to PrizePicks coming out with an NFL board for week 1. And it looks like there actually might be some limitations this year when it comes to positively correlating players, because it looks like we're actually going to see some payout shifts when it comes to NFL. So I just wanted to throw that in there, make you guys aware that if you are building out slips over on PrizePicks looking to positively correlate players like Mahomes and Travis Kelce, like we had mentioned in our video, that there could be some sort of payout shift. So please be wary of that.